Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Good to see everyone again. I heard a story last year that had such a profound impact on me. Every year I like to think about it again. I thought about it last year, and I think it's so powerful that I think it could really change our month. In 1939, of course, September, right at this time of year, September 1st, of course, World War II began, which, as everyone knows, was a absolutely horrific and devastating conflict for everyone involved, and certainly for our people. Now, in 1939, when the war was beginning, there was a young boy who lived, I think it was outside of the city of Pressburg, in a small shtetl. And, they knew that war was happening, but they didn't know what was really going on. They weren't so tapped into kind of world events. And this little boy was sent to the big city to go find out. Like his father was in charge of the town, was one of the people in charge of the town. Go to the big city and find out what's going on. What should we do? So he travels to this town, and he goes and he meets the rabbi of the town, and he says to him, listen, go tell your family this is really bad for the Jewish people, and this could be the worst one, the worst conflict yet. But he says, I have a ticket for you on a train to bring you to safety. You came here and give you a ticket for safety. So this was part of the kinder transports. The government of England, in their kind of a humanitarian effort, they wanted to save some Jewish children from the inferno that was going to engulf Europe. So they had 1,000 seats, 1,000 kids, 1,000 tickets. This rabbi of Pressburg had a ticket and says, you know what, this kid, I'm gonna give you a ticket. He runs home, and his parents quickly pack him up a little bag, and they send him back to the city. He gets on the train. He's part of this first round of kinder transport kids, and he survives the war in Europe. And of course, he never saw his family and his parents anywhere again. Now, ultimately, there were 10,000 Jewish children that were saved. And incidentally, my wife's grandmother, she should live and be well, she was a 5-year-old child in Austria, in Vienna, and she was saved in England during the war. So this young boy, he told over the phone, so they arrived in England, and they were put probably in some sort of refugee camp or whatever before they found foster families or whatever. And they made an announcement that the king, I think it was King George, one of the King Georges, he wants to meet the children that he saved. So they said in 2 weeks, the king's coming, and he wants to see the kids that he saved with his initiative. So 2 weeks later, everyone gets dressed up in their finest, and they line the streets, and they're waiting for the king to come. And the king comes with his cavalcade, and all the kids are well behaved and just standing proudly, and the king is kind of going through with all his bodyguards, and suddenly a kid jumps up and starts lunging at the king and screaming, I need to speak to you. So the guards quickly tackle him, and they stop him, but the king notices. So he turns around and says, let him come. I want to hear what he has to say. So this kid comes over to the king, and he says to him, it's amazing what you did. 1,000 Jewish children, what's going on in Europe. Unbelievable kindness and magnanimity that you showed for these Jewish children. But how could I be happy? My father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, my uncles, they're all stuck in Europe. What's going to be with them? I need you to save them. So the king says, okay, give me their names. Give me their addresses. So he gives the name, father, mother, brothers, sisters, uncles. Gives them a whole list. And 2 weeks later, those people are all in safety in England. This child who witnessed this story is today the chief rabbi of Jerusalem. And he said the following point. He said, if the king was in the palace, and you wanted to save your family, you have no way of reaching him. The amount of bureaucratic obstacles in the way between you talking to the king are insurmountable. But the king came to you, and you had one chance to grab this opportunity to talk to the king. And this kid One kid out of 1,000, one kid said, I'm going to take the opportunity. 999 kids said, okay, I'll just do what I'm told. I'm going to remain inert. And one kid said, I'm going to grab this opportunity. And you know what? He saved his whole family and they didn't. And he says, that is the month of El. Our sages tell us that we should call out to God when he is close to us. What that means is, of course, the Almighty is always close to us, but there's different degrees of closeness. Sometimes the Almighty is in the palace, so to speak, and sometimes he's here with us. And we have an opportunity, and we can ask. And you know what? If we ask, we'll get. And if we don't ask, we won't get. This is the opportunity. He's here. He's amongst us. He is in close proximity. And the question is up to us. Are we going to maximize his time? Are we going to make those requests? Or are we going to remain inert and we're not going to seize this opportunity? I thank you all, and I'm going to have a fantastic and wonderful Elul and a K'tiva v'Chatima Tova.
Thank you, Rabbi Yaakov. Everyone, please rise for the shofar blowing. My friends, have a terrific day. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.